Happy Flosstube Friday, friends. My name is Kari. This is Tiger Lily Designs. Welcome to Flosstube episode number 99. Oh my gosh, can you believe it? So next week is 100. We're going to talk about it later, about what we're going to do, because that deserves a celebration and confetti cannons and all the things. I can't believe it. But anyway, welcome. If you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much for coming back. If you're found me for the first time, well, welcome. My name is Kari. It's Tiger Lily Designs. I do cross stitch. I do knitting. I do quilting. I do just making all the things, really. It's just really a making. I love to do the making and the creating and all the things. So I hope you will consider joining the Tiger Lily family, like and subscribe, and come along for the journey. If you are here and you're back and you're one of my faithful fans, mwah, thank you so much for coming back. I love you. I am here. We've got lots of fun for you. The table is full as always. It's been a little bit of a week. I've done lots of things, really. Let's just be honest. So as I love to do, we're going to run through a quick table of contents so you know what you're in for today's episode. So first, we're going to start off with a bang. I've got a fully finish. So that's exciting. I also have 3 Stitchy WIPs that I worked on this week. I have some knitting WIPs that I've worked on, some things that are almost finished. I've got some hauls, some good things. I went shopping outside of the house. I'll tell you about that little adventure. I also had some things, show up in my mailbox, as we like to do, little online shopping. Without further ado, let's jump into the fully finished, shall we? Are you excited? I'm excited. So last week I showed you guys my fully finished. I got into my miter saw. If you don't know what I'm talking about, definitely go back to Flosstube number 98. I did a little more detail and told you about how I'm framing myself. I am a do-it-yourselfer. I DIY all the things. So when it comes to framing, I just couldn't swallow the pill of going to a Hobby Lobby or Michael's, even at a 70% off coupon, which I love a good coupon, but I could do it. So I tried it. I went and got 2 $6 frames, 5 $6 frames. Thrifted at a thrift store, super fun. It was all about the pretty wood. And I was like, well, what's going to happen is the worst didn't happen, thank goodness, because power tools, fingers, but that didn't happen. And what did happen is I got 2 fully finishes. So last week I showed you one, and this week I have the other one. I did 2 frames that day, but I didn't get the other one framed or ready. But this one is now framed and ready for her debut on the Flosstube. Oh. Okay, let's just take it in a minute, shall we? This is Miss Harriot Hay. Now hold on, I got the pattern. It's on the table somewhere. Let's see. Here it is. This is Miss Harriot Hay from Mill and the Floss Samplers. Now, if you've been around for a while, you know this was my Tiger Lily birthday sal from 2023. So my birthday's in January. I always have a birthday start. And I always invite all my friends to come join me. And this was my birthday start from 2023. It's full, jam-packed full of memories. So when I went to StitchCon last year of 2023, I stitched this house, fill in, it's safe. I wasn't going to mess up. There was no counting arrows as I was sitting at my StitchCon table, yik-yakking with all my friends. And then my second retreat of 2023, I went to Chantal's 141 fantastic pep rally that was in September. And my goal was to finish her at the rally. And I did. And I'm so excited. So the only thing I didn't finish was I recharted. So down here, there's some over one. I don't even remember what it says. It's a quote that really didn't speak to me. And it was over one. So I changed it. And I did the true friends are never apart, maybe in distance, but never in hearts. And this really felt like it was the perfect quote for this, since I stitched a lot. The memories of my first 2 retreats are jam-packed in this piece. And that is when I met so many stitchy friends that I had only known previously in the Instagram and the social media and things, but now I got to see them and meet them and have fun with them in real life. So this is the perfect piece. I will remember forever all the things. So this is a beautiful piece. Now I stitched it on 16 count Aida, and I did not bring my project tracker card. Shame on me. It's been a while since I finished her. I finished her in September of 23. Here we are in April of 24, but that's okay. There's no cross stitch police, but she's finally going to go on the wall and I'm super excited about her. So the project tracker card information, definitely if you go back into my Instagram or in previous videos where I've shown her and talked about her and given you all the details. I did a full color conversion. She is charted in DMCs or Versoirs. I did not, I did a full over dyed conversion. I love a good cotton over dye. I love, especially in the house and the grass, I wanted the movement. And so I did a full color conversion, Tiger Lily conversion. You can access it on my Instagram, but it is stitched on a 16 count LFA linen. I'm going to guess Boston Tea Party, but again, reference my previous videos, and framed totally by me, which, so, you know, the tricky thing is I don't even remember what she measures. Okay, let me tell you, this 16 count, so 32. She's 15 by 18 and a quarter. Gotta love it when the charts tell you the measurements on the back, right? So 15 by 18 and a quarter, not a standard size, off the shelf at a Hobby Lobby. No, it's not. So I did my miter saw. I talked about it before. I'm not going to repeat it. I will be doing a framing tutorial video for my next piece. Now we're going to talk about it because it's one I'm working on. It was one of the WIPs for this week because I do have goals to get her finished. And then when we're going to frame her later on here in the next 30 days, hopefully, April's kind of busy, we'll talk about it, but hopefully soon she's going to be my next piece that I frame. I just have to find I need to go thrifting, find some pretty molding. So that is the great thing. This is just gorgeous molding. Like I said, $6 frame that I picked up actually in South Carolina when I was visiting my kids down at Clemson. But I did it, and I did a nice, it's about a 3/4. I wanted a little, the fabric is gorgeous. Sue's dye linen and Ada is hands down my favorite. And have you heard the news? She's dyeing fabric again. Now, I need to get on the inside track. I don't know how to do it. Rachel, Sue, inside track. I need to get my hands on some of her linen. I love her Ada, but now that I am deep diving into both, I want to definitely try Sue's linen. But this is 16 count. I'm pretty sure it's Boston Tea Party. I could be wrong, but it's gorgeous, 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 gorgeous. And I just can't wait to get this beauty on the wall. And she's really not hard. Now, you're not supposed to show your backs, but I'm gonna, because this is truth. This is real life, friends. And this is a characteristic of how much I like you. Okay, this is the back. I haven't put my paper on to show you back. So I would pop her out if I hadn't already pinned her down. So I use the pin. So it's piece of foam core. My Lily would recognize this. This is just a piece of foam core board. We actually used it for something else for her, I don't know, a summer ago. Long story short, doesn't matter, but I keep it, right? And so it's good foam core. And then so there's like 1,000 pins all around the foam core. And that's how I do. I pin all my pieces in foam core. And then I just tape it down with painter's tape. Like, it's not gonna hurt anybody, right? Paint the edges or tape the edges down. And then I will put a piece. Now last week I showed you my back and it was pretty because it was scrapbook paper size. This is not scrapbook paper size. I need to go out to my mom's house where she has a beautiful, she does artwork like, right? I've showed you her artwork. So she's got this beautiful paper, professional framing, cover it with the paint like you won't see. Anyway, nobody wants to see that, but that's real life. That's what my backs look like. But I did do, see what comes with it, and you just clip those thingies down again, right? Easy peasy. The tricky part is lining it up and making it straight, especially when you're framing something that has a square, a very defined border, and you would know like it would stick out like a sore thumb if it wasn't straight. But take your time, unpin and pin. I definitely probably pin this, I don't know, 3 or 4 times because you move it and you're like, oh, that's just like 2 stitches off, and you got to unpin and do it again. Do it right. Take your time and do it slow. And I mean, listen, it's not hanging in the Smithsonian, but I'm super excited for it to hang in my dining room next to Miss Mary. So my sampler wall is coming together slowly but surely. So this is Miss Harriet. Hey, she's finally ready to go on the wall. We might as well just stick with the Tiger Lily birthday stitches because that's what I have next. It's the 2024 Tiger Lily birthday stitch, and this is from my sister's samplers and Richardson. Love this chart. Love these 2 sisters. I met them at market. They are precious. This is a beautiful, beautiful piece. I am stitching mine on a piece of 36 count XOXO designs in the color Baby Sheep, I think. I'm using the called for Vicki Clayton Silks, which is super fun. So here she is. I didn't iron her, but she's smoothing out flat enough. She is close. So any guesses? Yes, friends. This is the one we're going to frame. We're going to use this one for the custom framing tutorial. So hopefully soon. I got probably 2 or 3 nights with the stitching in on her. This whole flower is new. This little blobby doodah, I totally missed that one. This little lion head filling in the flowers. Slowly but surely she's coming in. Not far. If I just gave her a couple more nights of dedication, I probably could bang her out. So close. I do have to figure out what I'm going to do down at the bottom. I usually always customize mine. And so this one, first of all, it's adorable that she just added her little like, squirt it. And so, I mean, I might just do Kari and then my age on it. I'm not opposed to it. We'll see. So I haven't figured out exactly how I'm going to customize this or put my name on it. Or maybe I won't. Maybe I'll just do a little funky border and call it a day. But this one is close and it's gorgeous. Like I said, I am using the fabulous Vicki Clayton Silks. I keep them in one of these clover clip boxes. This is my favorite thing. I create a little label so then I don't have to reference what's what. The Vicki Claytons come on these bobbins. They're fantastic. And my favorite thing so far about this, well, not my favorite thing, but one of the things that I really love about this bag is that my friend Nicole Spore made me this, and it was so sweet. But because there's so many colors in there, in the alphabet, you are changing thread colors every letter, which, yeah. So I went ahead and I dedicated 7 needles to this project. And so that way I'm not rethreading and unthreading for every color, which is fantastic. So when I finish the color and I need to switch, I just pull it off and pop it back in here. It's still bodied up with the next thread. Love that. And then I use one of my Adam Heart floss drops just to, when I pull it off the spool, right? It's a 6-stranded silk. So I pull it off the spool, and to keep them all straight, I just wrap them all on here. You know, I pull the one strand and pop it on the needle, but since it's only like, I don't know, 9 or 10 colors, I'm able to put just my extra right here, wrap it around this little notchy thing on the heart, which I love is fantastic. It slips right here in the front pocket of the, like, Nicole, I need about 3 more, 5, 10 more of these. Adorable. This is a felt project thing. She definitely hooked me down that rabbit hole. I have the kit. I have the machine. I have the equipment. Have I done one yet? No. Nope, sure haven't. But this one, because this one's super cute. And I mean, don't these colors just scream me? She knows me so well. I love it. So that was one of the WIPs I worked on this week. I have 2 other WIPs to show you. Let me grab them. The next WIP for this week is in my fabulous watermelon bag. Do you remember what this is? I showed this last week. And I kind of like doubled down on this one. Oh, so close. It just, I mean, it's just beautiful. I love it so, so much. And I finally got my project tracker card so that I can share my conversion with you. Let me tell you what it is. It is the fabulous Remember Me sampler and tree, but I am doing the tree. This is from my sweet friend Liz Matthews. This was one of her market releases. Love it. I'm pretty sure now you can get all of her market releases as a PDF on her Etsy shop. So I will link her down below. It's either now or coming up very soon where she's going to do that. If you didn't grab it from your LNS and you want to just grab it directly from Liz, that's fantastic. Now, she charts in MPI Silks and does a very thoughtful DMC conversion. I went ahead and instead, because this was one of those spur of the moment, I want to stitch it right now type of situations. Do you have those? Me too. So I'm thankful for my stash where I can just go and pull out a fabric that I thought was close enough. And then because it was only, it's 10 colors. And so I just went to my thread wall, or to my thread boxes, my little drawers, and pulled over dies because it's not a very big project. Even though it measures 108 by 155, because of the tree shape, there's a lot of non-open space. So this is my Tiger Lily project information card. I didn't have it last week, but I definitely want to bring it for you guys this week. I did a full over dyed conversion, like I said. So these are all the DMC called fors, and then it shows you right here what I switched them to. So take a screenshot if that's something you are interested in. But really, I fully encourage you to shop your stash. You know you have something, and it's beautiful, beautiful, beautiful colors. They're not hard. I mean, so close. Oh, I love it. I love it. I love it. So I got this to a point where I'm ready for some Zoom fill-in. I think that's next week. So I've got Zoom fill-in down here. I've got Zoom fill-in for these little mountainy hills, which is fantastic. And so the only thing I have left, where'd the chart go? Somewhere good. Oh, I put it back in the bag. Let's see. Yeah, so I just have to do, no, not though. I have a couple butterflies and some little, flowery twigs and little stars and things, and the rest is fill-in. So give me a couple nights of fill-in, which I'm a super fan of fill-in. So you're either team fill-in or you're team not fill-in. I'm not quite sure. That doesn't have quite the ring to it. I need to work on that some more, but you know what I'm saying. So these are the floss that I pulled. Like I said, I just went to Stash and got 2 oranges, 2 greens, 2 mustardy, golden yellows, a brown. Anyway, the colors are very, very easy to pull from. If you've been stitching it all for a while, you probably have something like this in your stash, or you can just pull, the DMCs, of course. But it's so close, and I can't wait. So this one might stick around for a while because I feel a finish is coming. And I would love a good finish. So that's exciting. And then last but not least, I do have one more Stitchy whip. Let me grab the bag. This is in one of my mini keepers. First of all, this is one of the OG ones. It's a Dresden quilt. I love my Dresden quilt keeper. This was custom for me. This was kind of like, this is how a mini keeper was born, really. Because I needed a mini keeper to go on vacation. I didn't want to take a big keeper. I was taking one project. And it was going to be monochromatic because I was going to be on an airplane for days, it felt like. And so I did a monochromatic, and I've talked about this before, but just in case you're new here, now I don't have them threaded. But what I do is I keep one of these molded tins in this bag. And it has 4 magnets on the bottom. And why does it have magnets on the bottom, you shall ask? Well, this is like my needle case. So you can do a needle case like the one I showed you from Nicole, which is fantastically awesome. But this one has 5, should have 6. So there's needle gone rogue. But what I do is monochromatic, right? So this is the thread. I pull off a strand. I'm stitching this on 16 count nor'easter, which is another LFA linen. But it's an Aida. It's called LFA linens, but it's an Aida. 16 count. And so I'm using the beautiful Mose silk. I've talked about Mose before. This is her Christmas night. It's a beautiful variegated, I love the way her silk smells. I don't know. She uses some kind of fabric softener. I don't know, but it smells so good. Weird, right? So anyway, I pulled this out this week a couple times because at some point when I'm stitching on linen, now you will see, if you've been around for a while, you know I started as an Aida stitcher. I only stitched on Aida. Team Aida, yay. Last year's StitchCon, I did dip my toe in the world of linen, and I have never looked back. But I still am in love with my old faithful Aida. It is one of those things because with linen, I do have to use the Halo Glow, the magnifier, the light, fresh eyes, all the things. Sometimes when it's 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock at night, and I'm not ready to finish, but my eyes are like, we're not doing this anymore. What do I go to? My old faithful. Aida never lets me down. So, and it's beautiful. It's beautiful. Now this is what I pulled out. I came in here and I could have gone to one of my 5 days or less is what I should have done, but I did not. I went to this one because I wanted monochromatic. I wanted to just thread 6 needles, call it a day, and just stitch away. And that is what I did. Now this is a long dog sampler, if you don't know. It's called Forevermore. I can't show you the chart because it's over there in my chart. I have a working copy in my mini keeper, and that's what I took with me because long dog samplers come like in big postery. It's interesting. Anyway, so beautiful, beautiful stitch. It's gonna have one of these little it's mirror image. So everything on this side will be on this side. It's fun. It's fun. And I've got the doggy for the little cute. I feel like he's off. No, he's not off. I just must be holding him crooked. I got him to some fill-in, and I'm starting to work on this. So this was just perfect comfort stitching, and that is my favorite thing about Aida. But look at these this is, like I said, this is nor'easter. So this is Sue's gorgeous, it's like her grayish. I saw on her Instagram that she did a little teaser. It looked like she had nor'easter on the drying rack. So maybe, but I don't know that for sure. But sometime soon it's coming. So that was my WIPS, and that's my stitching. So let me switch gears. So let me talk about my haul first that is stitchy-ish related before I let you go in case you're just here for stitching. So this weekend, well, last weekend, on Saturday morning, I woke up and I was like, I need an adventure. I need to get out of the studio. been a long week working on the April Keeper Club, which is fantastic. But I was like, I deserve a treat. So I live in Mount Vernon, Virginia, which is right outside DC. And there is it's called like Upcycle, I think is what it's called. Upcycle. It's a reused craft store. And what it is it's just like a thrift store, craft store, or it's like a consignment shop, not consignment, thrift store. People donate. It's a 501c, so everything is great things for the community. Love everything about it. But it's like only craft stuff, and it's tons, and it's filled. It's like one of these industrial warehouses. The great thing is I did film a little vlog shop with me situation that I threw up on my Patreon here. I'm finishing it up today, so it's going to go up today if you want more details on what this store is all about. But it is fantastic. I try to go there about once every 3 or 4 months, just because really the donation, it changes weekly. It's about half an hour away. So anyway, I went there and I treated myself. And I came home. Like I said, I gave you lots more details on Patreon because, it's not all cross stitch. It's really, none of it's cross stitch. But how they do it is fantastic. So if you're anywhere local, give it a whirl, make a day trip out of it. It's close enough to Old Town Alexandria, which is gorgeous. So they do 3 different ways. They sell things by the bag, by individual prices. So for example, I got myself, this is a bag of 3 skeins of yarn that are Juniper Moon Farm. I'll show you anyway. And it was $18 for 3. We'll talk about that during knitting. But then they also do, I got myself this red box. It might be a sewing machine. You'll see in the video. And then they also do like by the bag. So they have small bags or medium or large bags. So this bag, which is just full of great stuff. All kinds of making and crafting and doing and all the things. But just inside, so the full bag, that medium bag is a $10 bag. So it's a fill the bag for $10. Are you kidding me? No, not kidding you. So in there, I always, of course, check out the cross stitch area. There's usually a lot of the outdated, fun, but dated. But I did end up getting and finding 2 pieces of linen, and it's Zweigart. It's got the Zweigart tag on it. Couldn't tell you. I'm not good at looking at the count and knowing what it is. Could be 28, could be 32. It's definitely like 28, 32. Yeah, it's not 36. It's one of those. So, but that's okay. Fantastic. Love it. So a good, probably fat quarter. And then this piece of even weave, which is also like 28, 32. But seriously, and that's just 2 of the things that are in this bag of fantasticness. So like I said, I will give you a full walkthrough. I just thought it would be fun to share over there. But all the things, so this is some stitching haul. So that was my fun. And then I went to a yarn store, also super fun, local. So if you want to know more about that, link down below to check that out. But if you're only here for stitching, that is all I have for you today. Now I'm going to transition over to KnitTube, which I'm still working on the name of it all, but I haven't decided if I'm going to do a separate video or not. But either way, stitching is over, complete. We are done with Flosstube 99 for the Flosstube stitching portion of the program. Yay. If you had fun, I would love a good thumbs up on the video because that helps me. If you would like, subscribe, all the things, and definitely come back for next week. 100 deserves a party. Yeah. I'm still working out the details of the party, but we're gonna have a party and it's gonna be next week for Flosstube 100. So come back then. But if you wanna know more about my making and doing and lots more on the table, stick around. Welcome to KnitTube number 1 or 2 or 1.A, 1.0, 1.2? I don't know. I haven't figured out. Let me know if you think I should do a separate video because I feel like, although I'm a maker and I love to watch multi-crafters do the quilting and the knitting and the stitching and all in one, maybe you do, maybe you don't. I don't know. I haven't quite figured it out. But for the meantime, we're just going to stick with it all in one because it's easier for me, really. So knitting. Oh my goodness. First of all, I want to say thank you to all my friends who are still rolling along with the beanies on point. I love it. I love it. I love it. I'm seeing so many beanies still. So many people are still coming on, joining it, finding it the first time, just starting their beanies. Remember, the beanie along is there in perpetuity. You can always grab the videos, grab the PDF. It's always available for you to do it. Yay. Especially, well, maybe we'll circle back around in the fall when it's actually beanie weather. Here it is in April. It is sunny. Thank goodness. The tulips, the daffodils, all the things are coming out. So that's super fun. So it's not really beanie weather, but that's okay. Get ahead of the game. So let me show you. So this was okay, I went to the craft store. Let's continue the story, shall we? I went to the craft store because I got a little bee in my bonnet. I wanted to cast on a new sweater. Now, if you've been around for a while, you know that my purple sweater, which is from the Sisteri yarn from when Patrick and I went to the sheep farm back in the fall. It was fantastic. Okay, so I found it. I have messed up somewhere. And so that sweater has gone to timeout. I pulled her out again to this week. I can't figure out what happened yet. And so I haven't been able to frog it back or start it over. I don't know. Anyway, so in the meantime, I was like, well, that sweater's in timeout. And so I need to start a new sweater because I have to have some variety. It's kind of like stitching. I won't to the world of like 52 WIPS in the knitting world, but I do want to have a little bit of variety in my WIPS in that I have a sock, I have an accessory, and then I have a big thing going, right? Yes. So I had finished. First, let's talk about this, and then we'll talk about. So what I was looking for yarn, and I knew I was going to go to the Old Town Yarn Shop. There's a beautiful shop in Old Town Alexandria. Now, Saturday morning is not the time to go to it because lots of tourists are out there in Old Town on Saturday morning. So note to self, I should go today, Friday, but I'm not because I got it in the mail. Let's just be honest. I'll show you. But at the meantime, I wanted to cast on a new sweater and I was like, okay, I'm going to go to Fiverr Space, which is what it's called in Old Town. Fantastic. They don't really have an online presence. It's small. It's more about being in person. But I was like, well, since I'm down in that part of town adjacent, I'm going to go to Upcycle and check out their yarn because it's hit or miss. You're either going to hit or you're going to miss. And so I did hit on two things in the yarn world. It's not a sweaters quantity, but that's okay. It's going to be an accessories quantity. So like I said, this is a beautiful piece of juniper yarn. Now, this was 3 balls. So somebody just donated. Looks like maybe they started one. I don't think so. Juniper Moon Farm. 50% wool, 50% silk, gorgeous, 100 grams, 153 yards, US 9. So I'm thinking this is like bulky, little less than bulky. I don't know what they call it, but it's $25 per skein. Okay. When I would just buy it, you can see that's how much somebody paid for it. Beautiful autumnal colors. Green is definitely one of my colors. So I definitely think this will be a gorgeous cowl. And there's enough on here for a cowl. And how do I know? Because I just finished one. Now, unfortunately, if you watched me on Instagram, you saw my story yesterday where it was a great day to be soaking things in the kitchen sink, giving them their block, and I blocked my traveler cowl. Now, I showed you guys this maybe 2 weeks ago. There was no knit tube last week. So 2 weeks ago, there was a traveler's cowl, and that is with Junction Fiber Mills. Let's see. Yes. Making Tracks, Junction Fiber Mills. It was this gorgeous Vermont Vice. I got 2 skeins of DK weight, so 420 yards, right? But it's DK weight. Although it felt a little chunkier to me, but well, that's what they said. Here's what I have left. Just 2 little balls. I might have taken some of the yellow out. It wasn't really my jam. So just this much left. I don't even know. I didn't measure it, but that's all I have left. Now, like I said, I blocked it yesterday. Went in this, did a little bath, little soak, and then it went to blocking. Let me grab it. So the good news is it's here to show you. The bad news is it's still damp, so I can't take it off the blocking. But it was sizable enough, and it was on I blocked it on these mats, so I could actually show it to you. Ooh, oh, I can see that I'm not even. We're close enough. No, it is. Okay, good. I was like, wait a minute, because these 2 signs. So this is going to be a cowl, right? Yeah. And you're going to, after this is done blocking, it's still wet. But look at that fun texture. Like I said, this is the, this is the pattern. It's called the Traveler Cowl by Andrea Mallory. Beautiful, beautiful pattern. And I've had a couple people ask me, now, if you've been around, if your beanie was your first beanie, the Traveler Cowl will not be your second project. It will not. I wish it could be, but there's more stitches than just knitting and purling. And so I want you to, I always love for my friends to succeed. And I just feel like it has a nice I-cord binding and all the things. And there's stitching techniques in here that we're going to work towards it. It's going to be great. It's not cow weather yet, so you're fine. We'll get there. But this is beautiful, beautiful. And it was just those 2 skeins of yarn. And easy peasy. Wasn't easy peasy. I should take that back. It was definitely pay attention knitting. So this is not mindless. This is pay attention. Not hard, but I was making notes. I can't show you because then I would be showing you the chart, but there's lots of notes and different rows and how I had to keep track of where I was, and I could never stop mid-row. And it was actually funny because I would tell Patchwork when I was working on this project, I was like, okay, so with my other knitting, I can just put it down mid, whatever, just put my stoppers on and I'm done. I go, I cannot stop this mid row. If I am on a 120 stitch row, I have to finish the row, mark where I am, where I stopped before, like, so there's no like picking up and going. So if you need me to get up and do something, I need to have warning. There needs to be time. So it was a little bit trickier than normal, but that's okay. It's beautiful. I can't wait. I was hoping that I was going to be able to finish it up and actually have it to model. So maybe next week. But so I got that one on the needles, off the needles, almost back on. This was a beautiful, look, it's sock number 3. Now, not pair number 3. No, sock number 3. Remember, I've knit 1 pair of socks. So this is my 3rd sock. I'm pretty excited about it. This was beautiful yarn. Let me grab it for you because I love to yarn shop. I might pause and yarn shop just as much as I pause and cross stitch, chart, fabric, floss shop, all the things. Yeah. So this was this beautiful yarn. Now, here's sock number 4, or the second sock number 2 of that one, right? So I'm to the stripes, which is great. Let's see, is my card in here? No, that's my cheater thing. Well, it was mustache yarn. Okay, but the great thing, and I did measure this. So I am using, as you saw, this is mustache self-striping yarn, which is fantastic. Love that you get all the fun and the love color, right? Yeah. But you just get to knit round and round and round. And that is self-striping, the magic of self-striping. And this is, I call this Shelly's Magic Heel. Oh, don't worry, I haven't woven in my cast on string, but that's it. I weave the other ends as I went, which is great. So this is Shelly's Heel. That's just what I call it. I don't know. She's got a name for it, but it is Shelly's Heel, and then a fantastic toe. And so I did a contrast. I just pulled from stash. So down below my project library shelf, there might be more yarn. There's a whole shelf of yarn right there. There might be more yarn over there. Yeah. So I went and got one of my minis from something, maybe one of the Advents. I don't know. Minis aren't labeled. That's the tricky thing about minis, is they're not really labeled. So I kind of just put, here's all my fingering weight minis in this pretty basket. So I went and I took my yarn and I went to my minis and I found a purple that I thought was like it had been made for this yarn. Let's be honest. It hadn't. I think it was Sweet Tea Yarns from Molly Klein on Etsy. Hers was the Advent I got last year, not 23 and 22. I got a fingering weight from Molly. So that was that one. Fantastic. So I used heel, toe, cuff, heel, toe, cuff. I used a contrast color for my heel, toe, cuff, just because I wanted to try something new, expand my skills a little bit. One day we're going to do socks together, so I just felt like I needed to be able to do that, and I like the look of it, and stripes, it just screamed to me. So, one mini, the great thing, that was the moral of my story. Okay, so how this comes, and I think I told you guys this last time, but when I bought it and I went and I caked it up on my little winder thing, it actually came in two 50-gram skeins, which is fantastic when you're using self-striping, right? So the great thing is it came 50-gram skeins, so I don't have to do some crazy math. Look, they actually are gonna match. Mustache yarn, magic. So 50-gram skeins, and so I got my one mini. So when I finished that sock, this is how much yarn I had left, right? Not this one, right? And I was like, oh my gosh, let's pull out this scale and see what's what. Get excited, friends. So I'm excited. Maybe you will be. There were, before I did my second cuff, words. Before I did my second cuff, there were 12 grams. So these are 20-gram skeins, fingering weight, 20-gram skeins. So I didn't weigh it beforehand. We're just assuming it was 20 grams. So usually sometimes they're a little over. So it could have been a little over. I hope not too much, because there were 12 grams when I started my second sock. So hopefully it wouldn't have been 24. Anyway, so I'm pretty sure that's great. In other news, there are 31 grams left for this one. So that means, again, didn't weigh it beforehand. I guess I'll have to do that now. Because I'm counting on these things to be magical at 50. But if they're not, if they were like 55 or 60, it doesn't matter. Even if it was 60, which that's a lot of extra. That's a lot of leverage. Usually they give you maybe like 10% extra. I think it's 5 to 10% is the, I'm not gonna say rule of thumb, but the goal, the yarn dyers shoot for, you got a little give or take. So there were 31 grams left. So that means in theory, if there had been 50, I should have measured it before, but I didn't. If there had been 50, then I only used approximately 20 to actually make this cute sock. And it's not a shorty. It's 40 rows and a 15-row cuff. So that's a pretty good crew height. It's not like knee high or anything, but it's a nice crew sock. So I'm excited. So I can actually, I think we're going to just do it. We're going to do it is the moral story. We're going to do it. We're going to make a second pair. I think. And I just have to grab a different mini skein, and then I can have matching socks. So fun. Okay, so those are my socks. I'm working on the second one. That's neat. So that's my WIP. And I have one more knitting WIP to share. Are you ready for my last WIP? And then we've got some haul, and I've got some little pattern roundup for you because I've been collecting patterns. Step 1, collect the patterns. So I showed you guys this yarn haul from Paper Cranes Yarns. She was starting, there's a knit along. I did not start on time. Will I finish on time? No. But it's beautiful, beautiful. It's the Azunza pullover by Claudia Q. Look at this beautiful sweater. Now, this is, again, a challenge skill for Tiger Lily. I'm excited. I've never done color work before. This will be my third sweater. So I did a cardigan from Tin Can Knits. I did a beautiful Espostra Co. Calliope sweater. Gorgeous, love it. Almost wore it today, but I didn't. It's supposed to be warmer today than it really is right now. But this is my trial into color work. And so I'm pretty excited about it. Now I got beautiful yarn. And I showed you guys this in a haul a couple of weeks ago. These are the ones I haven't caked up yet. But this is from Paper Cranes Yarns. Beautiful, beautiful human. Ashley, she's in Alabama. She's got an adorable little yarn shop down there. Online too. So I will link her down below and her Instagram. Give her a follow. She's it's not called Flosstube. She's a knitting podcast, which is adorable to watch. I've now watched them all because gotta catch up. Anyway, so her and I are knitting because she did 2 sweater kits. Now, so she's an indie yarn dyer with a yarn shop. Adorable. And she kitted up 2 different sweater colorways for this sweater knit along. And I loved this maroony red wine burgundy. She calls it dried poppies is the name of the color. And then with this softer rose clay as the accent, but we're going to be twinsies. So I decided this was the week because my trip to the yarn store was unsuccessful. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But in theory, I wanted to start a sweater that night, but I didn't. because there was nothing to come home with. So instead, last night, 2 nights ago, sometime this week, I did my swatch. I'm a big fan, super fan of gauge swatching because it's only my 3rd sweater. I have no idea what I'm doing really. Or I have no idea my tension. I'm still figuring it all out. I'm still learning. This is, again, no learning. I'm learning color work with this one. I'm learning, this is my first time knitting. I almost said stitching. My first time knitting with mohair. Now, Ashley's beautiful. So this is fingering. It is superwash, 80% superwash wool, 10% cashmere, and 10% nylon. And then you're holding it double with her beautiful 70% Super Kid mohair and 30% silk. Now you can see the colors don't match exactly, and she did that on purpose because she wanted movement. Love it. I love movement. So you can see it right here on my swatch. You see the movement. Now, of course, this is not Feel-O-Vision. Sure wish it was for you. You're missing out because it's fabulous. Oh, gorgeous. This was my swatch. See that movement? Look at the colors. Let's just let it sit there and think about what it's done. Oh, I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. And the good news is, okay, so like I said, oh, here. So these are the 2 colors. These are the mohairs. I've got them all caked up because we were crossing our fingers and our toes last night when that was blocking out because then this. So I got to wake up bright and early this morning with the birdies and come down here and read my gauge. Drum roll, please. Now, the chart calls for a 21 stitch gauge, which is pretty tricky to measure. Remember, when we were measuring, you measure by 1. Well, 21 does not divide by 4, so you're like 4 and 3/4. Yeah, no. So measurements, the gauge is 21. My gauge is 22. So what that means, in the 4 inches, instead of getting 21 stitches, I'm getting 22 stitches. So I am going to roll with it. I am not going to stitch. We're 1 stitch off on a 4-inch piece. That is close enough for work. The only thing I'm going to do is I'm going to look at the sizes and evaluate whether I want to size up or size down. Considering, I don't remember where the ease was on this sweater. There's lots of things for me to figure out. And as well as Ashley talked about how when she first started knitting this, she knitted one size and then she blocked it and it grew and she wished she'd knit. So she started again, bless her heart. And she actually went down a size. So it actually worked out okay. So I'm going to actually probably reach out to her and see like, you know, of course I blocked this, but we all know superwash grows. And it grows even more when it's in bigger presentations. So this 4-inch definitely grew. So I just want to see, I want to make sure that I'm within the realm, but 21 versus 22 is close enough. For me, I'm just going to take into consideration when I'm looking at the chart recommendations for the positive ease recommendations, as well as my measurements, and figure it all out. But I will stay tuned. So hopefully I caked up some of the pink, the other pink, the rose clay last night. I obviously already had the dried poppies caked up, ready to go. So I'm going to like cast on and start this scallop. It is knit top down, so I'm super excited about it. So that is the actual knitting things I have. I do have a couple of roundups here to show you because I went to the store, right? I told you guys that, and I wanted to. I am like, yeah. I put all my patterns in these protective sheets just so they don't get all disheveled and lost. I want a striped sweater. This is what I went. Saturday, my goal was to come home in my mind. I love when I imagine things. As a color quilter, maker of all the things, I kind of feel like the sky's the limit. I'm just going to make up what I want. And that's the great thing about making your own stuff is you can make what you want. It's just finding the supplies, right, to make what you want. So this is a beautiful pattern, petite knit. It's her lion pattern. Elizabeth Ann can knit this one. It's gorgeous. I just felt like I wanted a fun stripe. I've never done a stripe. Now, the purple one that's in timeout is a stripe. It's in timeout, so we're not going to talk about it. But I wanted a stripe one too. And so in my mind, I imagined, you ready? You ready for it? A navy. I love navy, in case you can't tell. I love like a navy blue with a pink stripe. Because it's so fun. Okay, so that's what I imagined in my mind. And I went to the yarn shop thinking I need a sweater's quantity of yarn to make this. And this Petite Lions is pretty sure it's DK. 20 stitches, so it's a DK weight. She uses held together with, you know, mohair and all the things. I'm not doing that. I'm just doing a straight DK weight. So I went there. I'm going to find this. Wah, wah, wah. Fiber Space. I did not find it. Don't worry. I came home and did some shopping. But I also went looking with 2 more patterns. Have you seen this? Now this one, this is Crochet Granny Square, which is fantastic. But this just came out this week. But then the arms are knit. So it's a combination of crochet and knitting. You can see the granny squares are having their moment again. They're right back in it. But then these are knit sleeves, which is super fun. You don't have to granny square the sleeves. I'm kind of super excited about this concept. But guess what color I want this to be? I know you can guess. It needs to be pink. It needs to be all the shades of pink. But crochet like eats yarn. Like it's a Pac-Man gobble monster. And so budget-wise, this was not a local yarn shop place to buy yarn. I need to go to a big box store because I think I need 1,600 yards for the granny square yards. And this is DK, which is a lot. So there's about 200, right? About 200 per hank. $30 a hank. I can't do this, and Indy died. So I'm going to go to a big box store and find a beautiful like a rainbow of pink, and then maybe the main color. I think I only need like 500 or 600 yards of the main color. So we'll see. So there was nothing budget friendly at my launch yarn shop for this one. Last but not least, I never print the cover photos, so I don't want to. So this is called the Small Fry Scarf. It's so I wanted another accessory. This is a One Skein Wonder, but it's a sport weight. Sure wish it was fingering because those are all fingering, but it's a sport weight. It's 27 stitches, but you're using a US 3. It's beautiful. I saw it on Grocery Girls recently. Beautiful. And so I want to I think this is another one of those things that is going to be a perfect gift knit. One skein. I think it's going to go quick, but we're going to come back around to it. I'll let you know. So last but not least, remember my lion sweater? And I had it in my mind. So this is yarn haul. Are you excited? So I came home. So when I was there, I saw some yarn ish, maybe. And they didn't have the weight I wanted. They didn't have a sweater's quantity. It was kind of frustrating. Like I said, I shouldn't shop on a Saturday at the yarn store. Thankfully I have the flexibility where I could have worked a different day, but I didn't. Anywho, but my mailman, Tom the mailman, yes, I'm on a first name basis with my mailman. If you know, you know. He brought me this yesterday. And you can see it's still wrapped up. This is Mrs. Babs. Now, I've never used Mrs. Babs, but I've touched it and squeezed it. It was there. Not the colors I wanted. So I came home, went to her website, and I was like, you know what? We're just going to do it. I was kind of nervous about buying a sweater's quantity worth of yarn online because computer screens and colors sometimes don't play nice. So cross your fingers. I haven't opened it yet. I saved it to open it with you. Are you excited? You're going to see real time. Hopefully I love it. I don't know what color I'm going to get first. It's purple. It's pretty. Pickles. Beautiful purple yarn. This is not pink. So this is either good or bad. Y'all are seeing real life. Okay, I love the blue. The blue is going to be perfect. See, when you have silver hair, you need the blue, just makes it pop. Okay. Okay, so I love the blue. This is the great blue. Super excited about the blue. The purple is going to have to be something else. Because, see, I wanted more. That's what I want. Right there. 3 by the Sea. I don't know what color this is. And I certainly need more than just one jolly pink. But, see? Computer screens. That's the pink I want for my stripe. Not this one. So I have 560 yards of this beautiful purpley color, which it'll be great. This would probably be really pretty with like a white. I mean, I'm not mad about it. It's just not what I want. So I won't be casting this on this weekend. I guess I could cast on. Let's look at the chart. I just have to make sure I can find the right. Yeah. I could do a swatch. That's what I need to do. But this is the color I want. Oh, yarn shopping. See, when you imagine, this is the problem. When you imagine things in your head and you have to have it one way and you're like, that's the way I want it. I don't want this one because this would be very pretty. But no, I want the pink. Anywho, back to the drawing board, or actually back to online shopping, let's be honest. Anywho, so that is what I have for you today, friends. Yes, all the things. So knitting and stitching and quilting, oh my. So if you have found me for the first time, I hope you give me a thumbs up and a subscribe and join me in the Tiger Lily fun. I am busy. Tiger Lily shop update, real lickety split. The Keeper Club is chugging right along. It'll be going out the end of this month. The make along with the Make with Tiger Lily herringbone mini bag. There's actually still a handful on sale. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, go back to last week's video. I went ahead and ordered extra fabric because I just wanted to get the fabric ordered. And so we're good to go. And so the pre-order is not closed yet. It's not going to ship out until later anyway, but there's still a couple boxes left or a couple kits left if you want to grab one of those. But until next time, friends, which is next week, Flosstube number 100, that is bonkers sauce. I can't even believe it. Wow, what a journey this has been. I love it. I hope you're having fun, and I will see you next time, friends. So until then, happy stitching.